Hey everyone, thanks for joining the channel. I know it's been a little while since I've posted something, so I thought I'd share with you what's been going on so far. First off, I have a bunch of bowls being sold in Kutztown, Pennsylvania at a place called Mayfield on Noble, and I'm really excited about that. I've been trying some different techniques for drying the wood. I've been trying some what they call twice turning, and that's when you rough out a piece. You rough it out a little thick. Like I have this piece of beautiful piece of birch here. I actually have a couple of them. I have this one over here too, and this is still very green. You can see all the moisture right in there. It's actually so wet that it came spitting out at me as I'm turning this. And so what you do is you turn it once, and you turn it rather thick. And that's because as the bowl dries, it is going to start to warp a little bit. Actually, depending on how much moisture, it could warp quite a bit. So you turn it thick, and you let it dry. You can either let it, you can either seal the end grain with anchor seal, or whatever other end grain sealant you want to use, and you can let it sit on a shelf for about a year or so until the bowl is dry. Or it won't completely dry. It will equalize with the atmosphere. What I am doing is a speed drying method utilizing a microwave. What you do is you don't seal the end grain before you do this because it'll create fumes and smoke and stuff. You don't want that to do that. So you weigh it, and you record your weight in grams. And over the next day or two, I'm going to be microwaving it for about a minute. Could be about 30 seconds. Mine's a low power microwave, so I do it for about a minute or so. And you let it completely cool, but you turn it upside down with a little spacer to keep it like propped up a little bit. And that allows the moisture to evaporate from the outside of the bowl. And you let it cool for about an hour or so. You weigh it again. And as it continues to lose weight, you keep microwaving it, letting it cool for an hour. You weigh it again. Eventually you get to the point where in between sessions, it won't lose that much more weight, which means it's pretty much stabilized at that point, or equalized. And then I'm going to throw this on the lathe again with the jam chuck, and I'm going to, right now this is a nice circle, but as it dries, it's going to warp and become a little bit more oblong, oval-shaped. So I'm going to throw it onto a jam chuck, true up the tenon, and then mount it onto my 4-jaw chuck. Once that's trued up, true up the outside of it, and then thin it out on the inside. And after that, it should stop warping. And then I'm going to finish it off with some Howard's Butcher Block conditioner. And then you get pieces that look like this. This is this is from the same birch tree. And this has been twice turned and coated. And you can see we're able to get really thin. It's extremely light, but it's still retaining its circular shape. And when I put it on the table, it lies flat, and it's not going to be warping. If it warps at all, it's very, 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 very minimal, but it shouldn't be warping anymore. And that's it. That's what I've been up to. So I will show you guys the results of these probably in a couple of days or so, and they will be joining their birch tree brothers This is another one that's been final turned and still retains its shape. It's still nice and round. It's a nice live edge. Another one like this. Again, all from the same birch tree. And gives birch looks beautiful. This grain has been really, really interesting to work with. These two pieces are two halves of what they call a crotch piece. That's when that's where the trunk starts to split, literally branching off. And the cross sections can be a little interesting because the intertwining of the grain can give a really interesting effect. So we'll see how those come out in the next couple days. Okay, stay tuned. And don't forget, if you're in Kutztown, Pennsylvania, visit Mayfield on Noble and look for Gopatry wood turning bowls. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.